Hello everyone, it is Liam back with a new video, and it is all black metal. So this is some stuff I've got probably a good few months ago, most of these, and I've kind of been digesting them, sinking my teeth into it, kind of talk about it on camera and kind of pretend I know what I'm talking about, you know, because I know a lot of diehards out there, especially ones that are on Spectrum, will lose their shit if I get my information wrong. So I will try and get this right. I've got my notes here. And yeah, some of these I can't even pronounce the name of the bands or the song titles, but you know, who gives a shit? The music's what you're after. Links will be below so you can check it out, support the bands, you get the drill, right? So this band was actually discovered by Spotify for me, so I stream a lot of my music, obviously because I work out and about, and I like to check out the recommendation list. That's where I normally go to find new bands most of the time, unless I go on social media. And this one just kind of popped up. I like the cover, it intrigued me, and it's kind of classed as blackened doom, which really appealed to me. Now, this is a band from Belarus, which is probably I think the first in my collection. They have since then moved to Ukraine and then moved to Poland due to the war. And this band is called Dymna Lotva. Now, this was put out through Repos Records last year in 2023, and I can tell you now, this is a fucking brilliant album. Double LP. I've listened to this loads. This is absolutely quality. Now, as you probably can see there, it's not in English, but the album translates to The Land Under the Black Wings, blood. And it's female fronted, and the lass on there, she is a talent. She's like, does all the things you kind of want from a band live. So they wear these kind of robes here, the guitarists and the drummers and stuff. And she kind of, it's like, you know how like Behemoth are and all that kind of thing, they have a focal point where the vocalist is the visual, and they have these unique costumes and kind of illustrate the music theatrically. She does all that, but she also backs it up with some really cool screams. There's clean vocals. It's got everything, and it's absolutely superb. It's not in English, but it doesn't matter. I mean, a few of these albums I'm going to show you today aren't even in English, but what it captures is so much scope and energy in these songs. None of these songs sound the same. They're all different. They either have a unique chorus, how she sings it, or there's a really nice doomy kind of riff with loads of harmonies on it, or there's kind of some eerie atmosphere added with like kind of sound bites from like children crying and shit like that. It's really, really good, and it's kind of dedicated to the people who are kind of fleeing the war and that kind of thing, and talking about how they've come back stronger, that kind of thing. So gatefold with all the lyrics in there. And there's two variants. This is a red one and a black one, and somehow I have both now due to eBay being brilliant. So I'm very happy, but this is the red one, which is supposed to have like a white swirl in it, but you don't see it, so I'm not going to show you it. But I've listened to this so much. I think it's about an hour's worth of music as well, which is really cool. And I've just been dissecting it and listening to it again and again and again. Now, the original members here, let's say the vocalist is last here, and I believe this is the bass player. I can't remember though. And these two have been going the longest. So the band formed in 2015, and this is their third full length from 2023, like I said. But at least in the inner there, you've got like a little blurb there talking about the war, thank yous and that kind of thing. Now I believe that chap there writes all the music. She does all the lyrics. And they're a fucking good band. Like, I'm surprised I've never heard of them before. I've never seen anyone talk about them before, because they're really, really good. And I've really just clicked with these guys completely, and I just binged on this loads. So if you take anything from this video, it's obviously the first album I show you, most people will take that straight away. Give this a go. It's online, you can find it everywhere. Not so hard to find physically, but it's not cheap, and I don't know why that is, but I was lucky enough to score it on eBay ages ago now. But yeah, go give it a go and see what you think, because it's a fucking good album. Can't recommend that enough. All of these, to be fair, but there you go. Now, as usual, I do a video for Morbid Records showing some releases from his weighty discography of stuff he releases. A Polish-based label, and every year I'm very, very grateful to receive his new releases to kind of pimp out on here, as do other YouTubers, and he does it all over the world. You know, really pushes his label, and it's a great distro. So I'll leave a link below. You can go check it out for yourself. But this first band here is a band called Ulven. These are two US black metal bands now. This one's from Ohio. And this is the second full length in 2018 from a one-man project called Sean Kratz, who does all the music on here. And this is the band Ulven. You might have heard of these guys, they've been around a little while. So this is the album called Death Rides Upon a Winged Crusade. Like I said, came out in 2018. And what you get with Ulven is very much that nod to the early 90s Norwegian black metal scene. It's got that rawness and aggressiveness in the vocals, which is almost kind of crosses over into death metal almost, because if you think back then with bands like Mayhem in the early days, they were pretty much doing death metal but in a different way, which then later became black metal, in my opinion. And this has got that kind of Death Crush kind of vibe to it, but then it has a lot of atmosphere and has kind of more of the mid-90s kind of leanings in black metal with the way the harmonies are made and the kind of I think they're Simpson now, I'm not 100% sure, but there's that kind of element to it in there. And it's just fucking good, like just really heavy, really to the point. There's 9 tracks. It's got rawness to it, but it's not the rawness where you can't actually identify what anything is going on. It's all there, and it's got that energy. And yeah, it's just a really solid album, and I've done loads on this. I've spun this quite a fair bit when I've been working. And there he is there, looking all fucking evil and satanic. So give Ulven a go. That's brilliant. I mean, there's a few of the other releases on Ggster Records, I think was one of them, or I can't remember. It was a UK label that put one of their releases out not too long ago. And the next one, there's only 2 for this video, is another band, another US band from, I think, Washington. Formed in 2022, and this is their debut full length from 2022, but this has been re-released 2024 on CD via Morbid Chapel, and this is the band Griefspell with Enchantment of Dark Eternity. Now, this is very different to the previous album that I just showed you. So they're both US bands, and you think they might have the same sort of style. They're not. This is totally different. This is kind of more in the raw aspect. It's got a lot of leanings to earlier black metal bands. Again, you can hear the influences loads when you listen to these albums. It's obvious as soon as you hear who they're inspired by. But this has got more of a rawness. It builds on atmosphere. It's not straight up aggression like Ulven are. These guys are more a building band. So it starts off steady and the songs kind of build and progress. And you get this raw energy to it. But the songs don't start off super intense. They kind of build. And I like that a lot. 7 tracks. It's raw, nasty, edgy. Because it has a kind of ghosty kind of vibe to it, which I think the album cover kind of inspires that as well. In my head, anyway. When you kind of see artwork and you listen to the music, I like to compare them quite a lot. And yeah, fucking good music. So I'll leave a link below to Morbid Chapel Records, like I always do when I do his videos, supporting his music. Because he's a fucking good dude. So thank you, mate. You know who you are. I won't give your name out on the internet to reveal people to who you are. But yeah, awesome label. Go support them. So now another really good label, which was one here in the UK. Thomas, who runs Repos Records. I'll put a little logo here. I've supported him for years now. He seems to be the only black metal kind of leaning label that brings all the good stuff in that I want. Especially in the UK, because some of them cost a fortune, like Debbie Morty releases, kind of obscure stuff as well. You don't expect to see over here, and you kind of have to buy from Europe. But he seems to get it in, and he did stop for a little while, and I was absolutely devastated. He had a massive clear out of his distro, but this year he's come back and he's kicking ass. He's bringing in some brilliant releases. He's put out some brilliant releases on cassette, vinyl, the whole hog, CD. And he's doing it really, really well, and it's genuinely good music. And he also has like a second-hand distro, and he's been really cool enough to partner with me, which again really surprised me because I'm a big fan of the label. I don't, I'm not doing this to get anything. Well, I am in a way, but this was all kind of unexpected. So he's given me a discount code, which I'll put in the bio below. But essentially, what it is, and I'll read this because I don't want to get it wrong. You get 20% off on your first order if you spend £45. Using the code DEFDOOM20, which I'll put along there. But if you think about it, that's 2 LPs essentially. If they're say 30 quid, 25 quid each, you take 20% off that, you're in for a laugh. And some of the releases on there, like he's the cheapest I've seen for the new what's the one it is? Archilles, that American band. That's the cheapest I've seen. That he had Ulcest's latest one, that was really cheap compared to other distros here in the UK. And he's just got loads of good stuff, but he's also his label itself. He puts out really, really cool, unique bands that you never heard of. Dungeon synth, black metal, borderline death metal, and some of them as well. But the 2 releases I'm going to show you are from his distro. So the first one is some Finnish black metal that probably a lot of you will know, and this is Vargrav. with Neverstorm. This was the debut, I believe, EP from 2018. Yeah, so this, I mean, loads of people know this band. This guy is heavily influenced by Emperor, especially the first Emperor album. And it's just superb. Like, I fucking love this band. Like, genuinely love it. And when I found it on his website, I grabbed it straight away, because some of these cost an absolute bomb if you try and buy these. And even the latest album that's come out, so expensive. But I'll wait and hopefully I'll get it one day like I did with this. So, like I said, this is Finnish black metal, heavily inspired by Emperor. And it's just cracking. I mean, this is put out for Werewolf Records, as you know, Finnish label as well. And this is by memory on Clear Purple, I think it was. Yeah, that's like a very violet purple. And it's just brilliant. Like, if you like the very first Emperor album, you already like this band. I guarantee that for a fact. It's pretty much a straight nod to that. And what was cool, it also came with a 7-inch picture disc, which I have here. Leave it in there so you can see with the artwork on it. And then it's got 2 tracks. Obviously, one of them being an Emperor cover, so you already gathered where the music's leaning to on that. It's just great music, and I really enjoy it. So that is the first one I grabbed from Repos. But then the next one is something a little bit different. This is a band that's split between the US and Sweden. Put this out in 2019. This is their only full length. I can't even pronounce it, but I'll leave it below there so you can see. It starts with a G, Ggster or something like that. Is my best Swedish accent. So this album, again, leans heavily on the Emperor influences. This is a band that, when you listen to their other projects, the US one and the Swedish one that have kind of combined together, you get it straight away. Yeah, I've basically written it on my notes. It's, you know, Night Side of the Eclipse, you know, worship, you know. And it's just brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Very symphonic, blasty, epic. It's got some of that kind of really heavily reverbed lead guitar tone on it as well, and it kind of makes you feel really eerie and cold and horrible, and I love all that kind of thing. So this is a double LP with the D side is blank on black wax. I won't bother getting that, but gatefold. And it's just really good. Like I say, if you like your Emperor, yeah, early Dimmu Gear, that kind of thing, it leans more to the Emperor than Dimmu Gear, but it's got that vibe to it. And it's just really solid, really good fun, really epic, really, you know, high energy. It's just really good. So go give that a whirl, and go and give Thomas's label a whirl. That's more important to me. So code below, link below to the website. Go and have a shop on there, because he literally brings in everything that you could almost always want in black metal. I'm just hoping he gets a few more distros, and then I'm laughing, you know. I won't have to worry about anything else in the world. I can just go straight to his website, get pretty much what I want in the black metal realm and death metal realm. You know, he brings in Relapse, he brings all the good stuff in. So cheers, Tom, you're a fucking legend. Right, there we go. Next one is a cassette from this is a Dutch band that formed in 2014. This is their second full length from 2022, and that is Faceless Entity, with the album The Great Anguish of Rapture. Now, I don't have a clue what this was put out on. It's one of those tapes where it's so vague, you know it's a black metal band, because it's just fuck all information about it. Like, the cassette shell is blank, but the only thing that helps me out is 2 dots to tell me which is the second side. And the J card looks like this. Maybe the black metal bands are always vague, aren't they? They're not going to give you the full hog of information, who's who and what, you know. Loses the atmosphere, so I get it, but it would be nice to know a little bit more. So there is the band there, I assume, in the J card there. And then you got your black car with your lyrics and that kind of thing. And this is atmospheric, raw, and kind of doomy-ish kind of black metal. So it goes fast, but they use a lot of repetitive riffs to kind of give it a very much a doom atmosphere to a point. And I love all that, obviously. And it has a lot of horrible eeriness to it, which I, again, love in my black metal. If it's got that energy and the atmosphere, and it's eerie and horrible, I really get a kick out of it, especially when they slow it down in sections, and they do that. And the riffs are kind of harmonised, that kind of thing. Like in the music you can hear in the background, you've got ultra brutal drums, but the guitars and stuff are eerie and epic, and they kind of build a kind of atmosphere. And these guys do exactly that. So Faceless Entity, I got this off eBay really cheap. Brilliant, brilliant band, so go check them out. Now, this is a new one for 2024, and I've enjoyed this immensely. So this is the latest Necrophobic album, In the Twilight Grey, put out through Century Media. He's probably the biggest band in this list, and they've been going since birth of my ear, 89, so they're 35 years old now, this band, and I believe this is their 10th full-length album, and it's just fucking good, just solid band. You get what you want from them. Like, I've always kind of, the earlier albums obviously a little bit different, they kind of mix. Obviously the first one's brilliant, then they kind of wane a little bit, but the last 3, I would say, albums from this band have all been consistent. Not too dissimilar either. Now the drummer here, he's the only original member left of the band now. A lot of these boys have played in massive bands. What was it? Exhumed, I think was one of them from Sweden. I know they've all, 2 of them at least, been in Dismember at one point. Yeah, you know, they've got around. You know, the Swedish scene, even though Sweden's a fairly decent-ish sized country, you know, a lot of the bands share members throughout the 90s, which is quite funny. But yeah, fucking cracking album. Really to the point as well, which I really like. It doesn't mess about, it goes straight in. The production's awesome. You got some wicked lead harmonies and guitar solos. You know, everything's clear. The vocals are spot on. And it's just good, really catchy. Like In the Twilight Grey, I really liked that single when I checked it out first, and it kind of spurred me on to go and get this album in the end, because I just liked it so much. Because it's really catchy, it's to the point, it's melodic. Granted, in a few years' time, will I remember? Maybe, I don't know. It's not like an iconic album, nothing like that, but they're consistent, and that's what I like about them. When I buy an album from a band, if I know I like them already, I don't have to really worry about checking it out. And these guys are kind of like that, you know, they're just consistent. They pump out good music, and live they're a really good band as well, from what I've seen. I haven't seen them myself, but when you check it out online, you know, they're the dog's bollocks. So yeah, Necrophobic, go check it out. Now, some UK black metal now, and this is a band, I've got no idea where they're based. I know they're probably up north, because most bands are from up north in here for the black metal realm, especially in Yorkshire, where there's absolutely loads of black metal bands out of Yorkshire. So this was a new one on me. I kind of found this out just by accident looking through Instagram, and a lady I follow on there who supports the underground, she just kind of showed this, and I was like, I'm having that, you know, if it's cheap, and it was really cheap. So this is the band Oakenthrone. With the 3rd demo for 2024 from this project. There's a chap called Simon who does all of this, programmed drums, and yes, you can tell they are programmed drums, but it does not hinder on the music at all. So this is very much atmospheric, mid-paced black metal. It's doomy-ish, especially with the guitar work. It's gorgeous guitar work on this, and it's got that rawness to it as well. Vocals are like over the top in the mix. They kind of sit buried in there to give this like eerie horribleness. This was a self-release by the Simon himself. I don't know if he has a really cool black metal name like Necro Butcher or Satan Fucker. I don't know, but you know, it's just a dude pumping out some good music. Now I know he's in other bands, but I cannot tell you what they are because I can't remember. But this is only 2 tracks. That's the only criticism I have of this. It's only 2 tracks, one on each side. But granted, one's 9 minutes and the other's 7.5 minutes, so they're decent lengths. But I'm into my doom, so that's the norm for me. But I really enjoyed this. It's just simple, effective, excuse me, black metal. And I'm hoping to find some more music of his because it's really, really good. So, Oakenthrone, give that a razz. That is a really good little EP for this year. I mean that, it generally is really good. Now, 2 more and I'll leave you alone. So this is an LP I've been after for ages, and I got it a few months ago now. So you may have already seen this. This is where are they from? Another Washington-based band. This is female-fronted. I think she does all the music on this and then has a live band to help her out. Her name is Yana Beckris. I don't know if that's a US name, I doubt it, but you never know. So this is Vouna with Attropus that came out in 2021. And it's the 2nd full length from her. She's on the back there. Let's just bow through Profound Lore, so you kind of get a vibe for what this might be, because that label really does pick out the bands that are miserable, bleak, and have a lot going on musically, like scope-wise, and this is no different. Gatefold is a little bit underwhelming, but a little sickle in there. This is on Black Wax by memory, yes. Now, what I love about this is it's proper mid-paced, miserable, doomy black metal. It's very, very doomy. It's almost in the funeral doom realm, nearly. It does have a bit of pace to it going on that midway through. But she just writes these really hauntingly beautiful harmonies, and the vocals kind of give it a real siren-esque kind of wail to it. And it makes it feel horrible and, ooh, that's scary, you know, in a way. Not obviously, but it has that epicness to it. And I really, really love it. Like, it's just genuinely evil, but also hauntingly melodic, and it captures your imagination. And as a fan of slower music, obviously, there's loads of scope to this, and it kind of builds beautifully with the harmonies and the riffs. And I love it. I generally love this album. It's brilliant. Really good music. I'm losing my voice. So if you never checked that out, I'll leave a link below. You can tell me how awesome it is as well, but hopefully there'll be another album I can find of hers, because that is spot on. And not last album for this video. So this was sent to me by my mate over at Grind to Death Records out of Sweden. Very heavily on the Swedish vibe in this video. And this is the second album or the third album? Third album from this band, and they're called Tusenarseken. I completely butchered that, but it is below. And I have the previous one of this band that was sent to me from this label only a few years ago. It isn't that long ago. So this is the latest one for 2024, formed in 2020, and this is heavy on the kind of pagan folk vibes. I believe it's sung in Swedish. I think, I couldn't tell you it. All the music, instruments is done by a chap called Andreas Karlsson, and I'm guessing it's in Swedish. But the weird thing is, I didn't think at first I liked it, because these guys are, well, there's one guy, it's very pagan-y, very, I can picture people jumping around Stonehenge when I listen to this sometimes, and it kind of makes me think, it's not that evil, and that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. But what I found was, after I stopped playing it, and I go back to it maybe a week later, I do my research and I listen to these as much as I can, I remembered a lot of the choruses, and I was humming some of the riffs, even though I got no idea what he's singing about. I kind of do the hurdy-gurdy, like Chef from Muppets impression when I listen to it, but I do it to the song, and I remember the way he sings it, and it obviously gets stuck in my head. So when stuff like that happens with me, I kind of think, well, I must like it, and it is good because it's sticking in my head. And that is with that. This album is, it's epic. It's not got that harshness to it. It's not got that, cool, listen to that riff kind of thing. It's more catchy in like a pop music kind of way, but it's obviously black metal, but also heavily in the folk kind of realm, in the way it's sung and the atmosphere, and it kind of has a ritualistic vibe to it, I guess you could say as well. And it's just great. I was really surprised, because at first I was like, it's all right. But then the more I've listened to it over the month or so I've had it, I can remember. I couldn't tell you which song it even is, because again, none of them are in English, and I'm absolutely useless at remembering shit like that. But I know it's like the third or fourth track in. There's a chorus in it, and I'm humming it in my head now, but I won't do it on camera because it'll just be disrespectful, because I just sound like the guy from the Muppets, the chef guy. But it's brilliant, and I really enjoy it. So go give it a rouse yourself, and you can tell me what you think of that. So I appreciate if you've watched to the end of this video, and I'm really big surprise for me was seeing the amount of new subs I got from my last collection update, which was just all death metal. I got like 75 new subs just from doing that video. So thank you for everyone who checked out that video. There's like over 2,500 views on that, which is insane, because it's just showing really nasty, shouty music. So obviously you all got great taste like I have, yeah? So in the meantime, go check out all these bands. I'll leave links below. Support Repos Records, support Morbid Records, support the underground artists. They're all fucking pumping out good music for everyone. And yeah, you're all fucking legends. I'll speak to you guys in the comment section. Cheers.